Hi and welcome on this channel. If you're new here, my name is Maureen and here we talk about mindset, we talk about manifestation, and sometimes we talk about breathwork. If you don't follow me yet on Instagram, what are you doing with your life? I'm at Maureen Levaillant and I will put the link in the description somewhere where you can find me, and I give a lot of free tips in there, and it's quite a good space for community as well. So today we're going to talk about kind of a special subject. I don't really like to dive into a subject that concerns only a specific gender of people, but I thought that this time I might actually do, because I think it's a very important topic and it's something that I also personally feel connected to as a woman, and something that I have been experiencing myself and that I have seen in my clients and in my friends as well. And I thought that, we could chat about connecting with our feminine energy and how it's been torn down for so many years and generation, and how ourselves, we just carry the weight of our female ancestors within our bodies, and how we still carry the shame, the traumas that we've all collectively been through for all these years, not just again in our lives, but also for our ancestors. And I think it's just really interesting work to dive in. So without further ado, let's go. It took me a very long time to figure out a few things about what it meant to be a woman, and about connecting with my body, about connecting with my womb. And I'm still learning today. Today I'm 27 years old. I am still learning every day. There's a new thing popping up and being like, oh my gosh, I have been conditioned to think like this as a woman. And, I from a very young age, I had to face periods, and I had to face things that little girls shouldn't go through, but unfortunately we go through in our society. I started to get endometriosis when I was 11 years old, and having this dysfunctional relationship with my womb, with my body, made me really hate being a woman. And I wanted to be a woman. I wanted to embrace all the femininity because I could see all the beauty in it. But I didn't want to be a woman because we had to go through period. There was so much societal pressure that I could feel from such a young age, about my body and about comments I was receiving on my body when I was just a teenage girl, or I was just getting out of childhood. Actually, I was not even a teenager that I started to receive comments about my body, about how I should work out, about how I should stop eating this and this and this, and things that I wasn't necessarily seeing for little boys the same age as me. And it kind of grew up also through, magazines. I started to see a lot about, shaving, or about, your first boyfriend, how you should behave as a girlfriend. And being shaped like this from such a young age obviously impacts your adult life. And I understand that it's been like this for so many years, and it has been so much ingrained as well in previous generations, in our moms, in our grandmothers, and even above, that they're not even always conscious about what they are passing down to the child. And that is okay, because we all have our own journey to go through. But as a young child, you just grow up with these thoughts about how you should behave. And you can really see the difference between little boys and little girls, how they behave, or just kind of the colors that they're supposed to wear, or the toys that they're supposed to play with just because they have a certain gender. And it's really hard to grow up into this normative society that tells you who you should be and how you should behave. And I think for women specifically, this can be very restrictive. And there's a lot of shame around what should be natural for us. I'm thinking mostly of periods, for such a long time, I didn't connect with my femininity. I didn't connect with my body because of that endometriosis, because of the cramps and the pain that I was going through. And I was told that it was perfectly normal to experience. And I was rejecting myself as a woman. And I know so many other women did that or are still doing that and not connecting with who you are as a woman, how to embrace this part of yourself. Because we are told how to dress. We are told that, oh, maybe we shouldn't, talk about this, or we don't really ask for a raise, or we don't really take the space that we want to. And I find myself so many times doing this, where I want to be the nice girl, when I want to be the good girl, and I don't want to sound like a bitch, and I'm, not necessarily going to ask for the things that I want or that I need at work. And then I see some men who actually went for the things that they wanted and they asked for, and they got it because they asked for it. They were not afraid. They were not afraid to ask, let's say, for example, for a raise. In my previous workplace, there was actually a big salary difference between the male managers and the female managers, the same job. There was a big difference. The difference was that the male actually negotiated their salaries, and the women didn't dare to do that because they just thought that it was, a pretty regular salary, or they were just scared of asking for a raise. And this just creates like bigger and bigger separations between genders. And I get so admirative sometimes how men live their lives and they're just so clueless about the things that we can go through as women and that we experience, because for them it's just so normal to, walk in the streets, dress as just how they want to dress and ask for the raise and, just speak louder and louder and laugh louder. And it's not a critique to men. Please do not misunderstand that. It's not a critique to men. I actually admire that. And I just wish I would see more women being in that space and being connected to who they authentically can be. And again, today I still find myself being in these in-between waters of, I know who I want to be as a woman, but it's just so hard for me to get there and take actions on that every day. And I can see myself where, again, I'm still trying to be the good girl, and I'm still trying to fit in and be nice and not talk too loud and not, bother other people around me, things like that. And it's mostly in my head. In reality, who cares? Who cares if I talk too loud, if I ask for a raise, if I'm not doing the things that I want to do? Who will do that for me? No one. No one will do that for me. And I have every right to do the things that I want to do and be authentically me. And I think sometimes a lot of women don't even know who that version of themselves would be, or they don't even realize all the things that they have integrated within the years, and that they are just reproducing every day because it's just so ingrained. And it just makes me believe that this happens from a young age, from childhood. And like I mentioned, it's so hard to be connected with your femininity, with your body, when you can hold up so much anger and frustration between, genders, and between what males do not have to go through as mental clutter, kind of, and what us women we need to go through as mental clutter. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't aspire to be like men, because we have our own energies. We actually everyone has both masculine and feminine energies. This has nothing to do with gender. But usually as women, we tend to be more on a feminine side and not maybe embrace as much our masculine side. And, it can just, I think we should just create our own version of what it means to be a woman. And everyone will have a different version of that. But what does it mean to us? Who do we really want to be once we've peeled the layers of conditioning that we've been experiencing for so many years? How do we connect with our bodies? How do we connect with ourselves? How do we figure out who we want to be? And why is it important? Well, after all this chat, I'm going to dive in more into this. Being connected with our wombs and with our feminine side is all about power, sexuality, and sensuality. Who here feels connected to who they really are sexually? And that's a real question that I want you to ask yourself right now. Are you satisfied with your sexual life, with your libido, with how you feel sexual desire? Or do you even feel it? And it can be hard to accept because, again, for so many generations, women have been ashamed to really feel this sexual side and really ask for and discover also what they liked and what they wanted. And being connected with your womb is connected to that sexual energy. In terms of power, how do you feel? How do you feel being confident? Just, 2 days ago, one of my dear friends just was extremely confident. She was just, showing up in this public place, being so confident. And me, I was just so shy next to her. And I aspire to be like her, being more confident, taking the space that I want to take, taking the power that I want to take. Because as women, we have so much power. Sometimes people tend to see women as those little fragile thing. Poor thing, she has to carry a baby. She has her period. Like, oh, she's not as strong as men. But we are extremely strong. All the pain that we go through, again, from such a young age, being pregnant, giving life, just having this womb energy is extremely powerful. And I do want you to understand that. By the way, sorry, if you hear some water in the background, it's because there's this, how do you call, like my UV lights for plants is just watering my plants, basically. Anyway, so having this power from the womb is incredible. And once you connect to it, you can feel it. You can feel the difference. And it can take a few moments because we live in such a masculine side world, where we have to be, productive. It's always go, go, go. What's the next thing? That's very masculine energy. And again, we don't need to get rid of masculine energy. We just need to balance it out with our feminine side. And how do we do that? We need to connect more to how we feel. We need to connect to our emotions. We need to nurture ourselves, and when we feel like it, others as well, more, and being open to really connect to this side of ourselves, of being gentle, of taking the rest that we need to take. And I know this part is really hard because I myself struggle with it some days, to really rest, but not thinking about being productive. So it's all about balancing these sides of us. But we live in a very masculine society. We cannot deny this. It's very masculine sided because it was built for men in the first place to work, and for women to being just back in a retreat almost, and being almost invisible except to give life. But we do have so much power. We do hold so much power. And it's important to connect with that. Because otherwise, we might feel like something is missing. When we try to just be go, go, go and be in our very masculine side, it's disregarding the cycles that we go through as women. When I mean cycle, I mean menstrual cycle, because we work by cycle. Our hormones fluctuate within our different cycles, therefore our energy levels fluctuate. And we might not feel the same from one day to the other. When we're in our period, we need to rest. When we are in luteal phase, we start to feel very exhausted, maybe some anger, some really strong emotions coming up. When we are in follicular phase, this is our time when we start projects. And we really need to learn how to embrace these phases, because that's how we work with our hormones, with our body, connected to our bodies. This is what we were meant to do. So we cannot go always, we cannot be in the mindset of always being productive, being go, 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 because that's also accepting the too much masculine side that our society gives. And we need to create this new norm for ourselves, for well-being, for our bodies. And it's okay to admit that we're different than men. I'm not ashamed of it, because I used to think, we want to be, everything equal. And I mean, of course, on some side, it should totally be equal. But I do think that we are very different. It stems from two very different energies. Like I mentioned, men have a cycle by day. Us, we have a cycle by either a few days or a few weeks. It all depends according to where we are in our different phases. And that's different than men. It's something men will never experience. So in this sense, we are different. And it's okay to be different and to embrace this side of ourselves. It's really a form of healing. We are healing generational trauma and our own traumas when we start to look inward, when we start to connect with what is going on inside our womb, inside our bodies, inside our feminine energies. We are healing not just us, but previous generations as well, and as well future generations, potential future generations, if you want children, who won't have to take on the burden that you are currently taking on, or that you've taken on before, and your ancestors have taken on. And this is a beautiful work to connect with, and it's so necessary. Again, when you do this work for yourself, it's not just for yourself. You're also healing other people around you. And you're teaching other women how to live differently, how to embrace themselves, how to not be ashamed of taking space, how to connect with their sexuality, ask for what they want and what they need, and communicate with other people, other men around, how they want their life to be and how they want to express themselves, and just feeling safe. Because I think there's a lot of unsafety. Is that a word? I'm not sure. Just feeling very unsafe as a woman in our world still. And it's crazy because we've done so much throughout the last 50 years for women's rights. And yet we still have to go through so many unsure paths, so many just feelings of feeling unsafe when you're walking back home, feeling unsafe maybe in our workplace, in our job security, feeling unsafe in a relationship. Why would we have to go through that? We don't have to. We just need to, by changing how we want to express, by doing the work that I've just mentioned, connecting with your womb, you can change people's mindset around you, around how women want to be treated, and really heal this part and help going towards that healing direction. And I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight. I'm not saying women are going to start to collectively feel safe and be feeling empowered from one night to the other. This can take years. As I mentioned, I still discover new layers every day about, conditioning of what it means to be a woman. Every day, I find something new. So it's a lifelong process, but it's a lifelong process that we can do together as a community, and where we hold each other up. We're not competing around, who will be the thinnest, who will shave every day and wax, who will be, the youngest boss or whatever. I'm just making things up, but it's not a competition. We don't need to be in competition as women. Actually, we just need to be in community and heal together. Because that's what we used to do when women would have their period. They would go into a tent and they would have their periods collectively together, and just being in a tent, retreat, rest. They would feel connecting in this way. And we could connect, and we don't need to go to a tent and have a periods together, okay? I'm not saying that. But we can connect in so many different ways through sisterhood. And it's so beautiful to express emotions because we know intuitively how to do that. We know, intuitively how to connect with other women who are going through the same things that we are going through naturally. And it's just beautiful to heal this part of yourself. And I cannot talk about, traumas or limiting beliefs that we have integrated, because to each its own. We have been through different things. We feel different things. So unless I'm talking to you one-on-one, I cannot know which trauma you have been through or how to heal it properly, because that is one-on-one basis. I can only speak generally in this video. But there are things that we collectively go through, the same thing. And I think it's time that we change that. And by connecting and again, feeling our emotions, like it can be, just sitting down, putting your hands on your belly, on your lower belly, and just really feel the heat, really feel maybe tensions, maybe how you're feeling right now. Maybe understand, what traumas you have been through, what conditioning you've been learning growing up and you're still carrying today. And it's a long work, it can take time. But once you open that door, you open so many doors. You open all the doors little by little to healing this part. And I think it's just a beautiful work. And that's why I wanted to chat about it today. And like I mentioned, I don't usually do subjects that are gendered specific. But I do think it was important for me to talk about it because it came up to me a couple of days ago. And I thought that it might be interesting to share this side as well and help other women heal. But unless you're not in the wellness space and spiritual space, there's not a lot of options for you to talk about that and to really connect with your feminine energy because, for so many generations, we've been disconnected from it. So how do we reconnect from it? And I wanted to be part of this change. I wanted to be part of maybe and hopefully, allowing you to see that it is possible to decondition ourselves and to walk towards healing this part. And it is possible. And you should be aware of this part of yourselves. And you should embrace who you are as a woman. Do not be ashamed for being a woman. There's nothing to be ashamed of. If you want to be sexy, be sexy. Okay, if you want to dress however you want to dress, do it. Do the things that you want to do. Say the things that you want to say. Ask for the raise. Do the trip. Talk loud if you want to talk loud or laugh loudly. You can be funny and beautiful at the same time. You can be funny and sexy at the same time. And you can have your period and rest. And you can have your period and just feeling good about it. It's not disgusting to have your period. It's not something disgusting. Okay, periods are very natural. It's normal. So all these things, and there's so many conditioning. If I had to list them all, it would probably take me all night. So I'm not gonna do that. But there's been so much conditioning. So whoever you want to be as a woman and feel good in your body and feel good with who you are, embrace that sensuality, embrace that sexiness within yourself, because you deserve it, because you can, because no one should tell you how you should be, who you should be, or how you should behave. There's no good girl. We need to break this mold. We need to stop this. And I think I'm gonna stop here because that's a lot of empowerment for now. And I hope that you do take a lot from this episode. And I do hope that you're gonna open that door for yourself, because it's just so beautiful and so empowering. Take back your power, sister. Take it back, because you can and because you should. So yes, this is all for today. Stay tuned for my I cannot speak. Stay tuned for my future work, because I am actually, if you're in Vancouver, I will be doing a womb breathwork, followed by my friend Lynn will be doing a sun bath, and we have this very professional picnic. I'm just so excited. So there are a couple of things coming up, breathwork related, for working on the womb. And you can always go check my one-on-ones. Like, this is probably the best way that I can help you, is by understanding on a one-on-one basis what you are going through. So I do offer a lot of mindset coaching and a lot of embodiment practices as well. And we just combine all of this together, and it provides a lot of healing, a lot of insights, a lot of reflection on where and who you want to be and where you want to go. In the near future and the far future too. So I do provide these one-on-ones, and I do really recommend to check out my one-on-ones, my events, the beautiful retreats that I'm a guest to. If you're living in British Columbia, Canada, there's a lot of beautiful things coming up. So if this episode spoke to you, don't hesitate to look it up, share it to maybe for someone who's interested. All the links will be in the description. And that's it for me. I do hope that you have a beautiful day. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share and comment. I would love to know about your opinions, your thoughts on this, what you've been going through yourself. And yeah, I believe that's it. All right. It's pretty dark right now on this good thoughts, on this good speech. I am going to leave you with these thoughts, and I'm going myself to sleep. All right. Bye.